Gimli, do you want to tell the people where we're going? We are going to get peaches! Want to go get peaches with me? Yeah, okay. Let's go get some peaches! Okay, so I just got our peaches, and I got a treat for myself. I got chocolate milk from Fresh Start Farm. It's an all Jersey dairy and creamery, and it's really good. Like, really, really good. Okay, so it is the first day of our peach jamming weekend, and I got my peaches all washed. We got half a bushel of peaches. So I'm doing half today, and then I'll do the half the next day, which you guys will see in this video. So I am dipping all my peaches into boiling water to remove the skins. A lot of sources that I saw said like 30 seconds and the skins will be easy to remove. That was not my experience. So I actually ended up finding the sweet spot was 2 minutes. So I left my peaches in boiling water for 2 minutes. Then I moved them to an ice bath and the skins slipped right off and it was super easy. Unfortunately, I didn't figure that out this day, so I'm still struggling with a 30-second bit here, but that's okay. So I'm getting all my peaches peeled, and then I'm getting them cut up and pitted. So today's project, I am making 2 different types of peach jam. So I'm making a plain peach jam and a cinnamon and nutmeg peach jam. So we chose those 2 based on when we made peach jam. The last time we made 4 different varieties. We made an original peach jam, we made a cinnamon and nutmeg, and then cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And our favorite was the cinnamon and nutmeg. The peach jam we're kind of doing just because it's traditional and we don't dislike it. It just wasn't like our favorite. The cinnamon and nutmeg was definitely the favorite. The peaches that I'm using for this batch are some variety of cling peaches, and I probably had our last time because we were where we're at now in Ohio. Our last time we made peach jam, but back home where I'm from, we always had freestone peaches, and so I didn't have to deal with the pits clinging to the flesh. And that was kind of a learning curve, not being able to just like slice around the circumference and it comes apart. I had to slice away from the pit. So that was definitely a learning curve, but I did learn it, thankfully. So I'm just here chopping up my peaches, and I'm doing each batch as a double batch. So I need 8 cups of peaches. For this, I'm using the recipe out of the Ball Complete Book of Canning. I'll link that for you guys below. And getting all these chopped, and then I will take them over to the stove. I have a big my cast iron Dutch oven pot is waiting, so I'm going to put those in there, and then I will add the sugar. I think, if I'm remembering right, it was 10 cups of sugar, and then the pouch of pectin. And I kind of messed up here a little bit. I was supposed to dissolve the pectin in the juices with the peaches before I added the sugar, but I didn't. It did turn out perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Everything's set up great. So now I'm just letting it cook down and do its thing while I get the next batch of peaches ready to go for the jam. So this batch was going to be the plain batch because we don't want to have the seasonings in there and on all your stuff when you go to make the second batch. So I'm just letting that all cook down, and I'm getting my jars ready to go in the dishwasher to sterilize them. And I keep an eye on this, stir it down when it bubbles up,
Getting all my jars ready to go. I'm gonna get the lids ready to go shortly. And I got a measuring cup and a spoon, and I'm gonna start skimming off the foam in a minute, not before I use an immersion blender to kind of smooth everything out, get rid of a lot of the chunks, because I don't like a super chunky jam, I just like a little bit of a chunky jam. Immersion blenders are a great tool to have in your kitchen. So I'm just skimming off the foam, trying to get as much as I can, and then letting it boil. And then when it's ready to go and my jars are ready, I will use a canning funnel and funnel these into mason jars. I'm using both half pints and pints because that's what I have. And there's my lids getting sterilized. And we're about ready to fill up the jars. They're going to get a 1/4 inch headspace. And I got that little measuring doohickey to help me with that. So that was kind of cool. And I'm getting my canner ready to go to process these, and we'll process them. I believe it was for 10 minutes that we process these jars, and then that will be good to go. So it is the next day. It is the 4th of July actually, so we're gonna have some sweet tea, and since we had fresh peaches, I decided we would have some fresh peaches with our iced tea, so I was gonna stick those in the freezer. And we are back to skinning and cutting up peaches for canned peaches. So we've finished our jams, that's all processed, and we're on to making some canned peaches. It has been a minute since I've done canned peaches. I usually just do them in a heavy syrup, but I saw in the Ball book of preservation, canning, whatever, that you could also use like a honey syrup, and that was intriguing. So I made 2 batches of syrup, and so 1 heavy syrup, 1 honey syrup, and we're gonna see what we like better. So I'm just getting all the peaches peeled and cut up to go into the jars. For these, I'm using pint jars, and I decided to use a regular mouth jar instead of wide mouth, and because most of these you don't really need a wide mouth jar for. You're going to use a fork, not your fingers, to get into the jar because it's not like a pickle or anything. Not that, I use my hands to get pickles out or anything. But a regular mouth pint jar works just fine for these. And our plan is to use these for like smoothies and to eat as snacks. And I think James has requested peach cobbler in our future, so that will probably be happening with these. So I'm just cutting them up into slices, or kind of slices, to fit into the jars. They definitely do not look like store-bought canned peaches, I can say that for sure. So then I'm packing the jars, and getting the syrup in them. This batch is the honey syrup. The blue pot has the heavy syrup in it. And then we'll process these, I believe, for half an hour a piece.
So here are all of our finished jars of peaches and peach jam. So I went ahead and labeled all the jars with a Sharpie. You can use pretty labels, or you can use masking tape. I couldn't find our masking tape for some reason. I don't know where it went. I'm going to blame James. Then we have our cinnamon and nutmeg peach jam. So let me show you guys. Actually, I'll take 2 of the same size jar. So here's a peach jam. Here we go. So let's look at these 2. So this one here is the cinnamon peach jam. This is the regular peach jam. You can just see by the color that one has something in it, and that is definitely the cinnamon and nutmeg that makes it darker. So we got 15 half pints and 6 pints, I think. That looks to be right. And then here are our canned peaches, or jarred peaches, I guess, if we want to get technical. And I labeled those as well. I always put the date on things because I want to know the date that I made them. And I made sure to keep them separate so I knew which ones were which, so that we can know what we like to eat the best. And we got 15 jars of those. So here is everything in all its glory, and was my process of making canned peaches and peach jam this year. If you have any questions about what I did or how I made it, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of what we do around our homestead, hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, bye!